Subscribe for daily boxing videos, guys. My body type, even though it's not really muscular, has worked for us. We know that we can fight hard from round 1 to round 12. It's all that matters. When you watch him, when you see all the training, it's like they are doing all this new training and it looks really hard. It looks intense. And it looks the type of training that will prepare you for 12 rounds. But in saying that, just maybe their team need to work on a few things. We know that our team has a good structure and a good training program that will allow us to fight 12 rounds if we need it. But I'm not sure why he tires. That's something he has to sort of figure out. Now that is what the current WBO heavyweight champion of the world, Joseph Parker, had to say regarding Anthony Joshua tiring out in second half of the fights. Him and his trainer, Kevin Barry, believe that Anthony Joshua, you see him doing all, as he says, you see him doing all these training. You see him, pushing himself in training. Very intensive type of training. But for some odd reason, Anthony Joshua, despite all that hard training that he does, he still doesn't have the endurance to go 12 rounds without gassing out. Now, I said in the past that I believe one of the reasons Anthony Joshua gasses out is A, he's very muscular. So that, because he's muscular, it causes him to slow down and it's harder for him to lift his hands up because he has so much muscle, in my opinion. B, the fact that when he tries to go for broke, a lot of times, Anthony Joshua, and try to finish off his opponent, he gasses himself out. When he fought Vladimir Klitschko, when he dropped Vladimir Klitschko, I believe it was round 5, he was trying to knock Vladimir Klitschko out, but he couldn't. He failed to do it, and he ended up gassing out, and he was literally out of the fight for like 10 rounds. If you remember, from like rounds 5 to at least round 10, he was gassed out, and Vladimir Klitschko was beating him those rounds. I gave every round from like round 6 to round 10 to Vladimir Klitschko because Anthony Joshua just wasn't letting his hands go enough, and he was very exhausted. So I think Anthony Joshua is one of those guys that he gasses himself out, especially when he tries to go for broke if he thinks he hurts you. Again, the only explanation is the fact that maybe he's a muscular guy. I mean, another guy, you look at Jean Pascal was another guy. If you remember, Jean Pascal was another guy that he would gas out in second halves of fights. He'll look good for the first 5 rounds, but then the second half of fights, he'll gas out. Jean Pascal was another kind of muscly built type of guy. So maybe that has to do with it. Maybe because you have more muscle in your body, it makes you work harder, so it gasses you out even faster. Who knows? But then again, I mean, look at someone like Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller doesn't have the body or the physique of someone like Anthony Joshua. He's a pudgy type of heavyweight. But Jarrell Miller, you don't see him gassing out. You see Jarrell Miller go, 9, 10 rounds with a guy, and he still is able to throw the same type of, punches for that long period of time. And when he fought Gerard Washington, he was stalking Gerard Washington for 9 rounds. Never once did you see Jarrell Miller start huffing and puffing like he was about to fall over and collapse because he just ran a 5-mile marathon. And you would think that someone like Jarrell Miller, because he's fat, because he has a lot of fat in his body, you would think that he would be the one to be, gassed out after 5 rounds. But Jarrell Miller has the tank to go, 10 rounds without gassing out. So who knows? Maybe he's just Joshua just has to work on his endurance. I think Joshua has to work on losing some muscle mass. Like I said, maybe that's just the thing. Maybe it's just when you have so much muscle, you burn energy more faster than if you don't have more muscle. Who knows? Maybe that's it. But I do agree with Joseph Parker. I do think that Anthony Joshua has, every time I say, that Anthony Joshua has endurance problems, a lot of times people get angry that I said they don't like that. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. How can you say he has endurance problems? But then in the same token, you'll say that, well, Deontay Wilder has phenomenal endurance, but Deontay Wilder has been fighting shit opposition. Yeah, you're right. Deontay Wilder has been fighting shit opposition, and Joshua has fought the better opposition, but I'm all about the eye test. When I see Wilder, I never see Wilder, about to tilt over. I never see him huffing and puffing. And he's been, 11, 12 rounds before, and I've seen him, with the same energy levels from rounds 1 to rounds 12. But when it comes to Joshua, I've seen him gas out after 6 rounds. I've seen him gas out and slow down. So yes, Wilder might not have the same opposition, but I just think he has better endurance. Same thing with Joseph Parker. I've never seen Joseph Parker gas out. Like I said. So yeah, I agree with Joseph Parker. And anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think of Joseph Parker's comments. Do you guys agree with him? Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys think that Joseph Parker gasses out? That Anthony Joshua gasses out. And maybe you guys know the reason why he gasses out. I'm not really good at when it comes to the whole human body, why this person, why that. So maybe you guys know better than me. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe. McGregor's out.